The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Good morning, I'm Brian Akers, and here is Winning in Retirement. I'm a certified financial planner, president and founder of Akers Financial Group, and we welcome you to our show, Winning in Retirement, and here is Alex Monk. How are you doing today, Alex?
Good morning, Brian.
Alex Monk is a certified financial planner practitioner from Akers Financial Group, and he has been working alongside for more than 10 years, right close to 11 years here.
Yeah, it's getting long in the tooth.
Long in the tooth. Well, Winning in Retirement, it's a show that we're putting together that we really want you to understand what's going on when it comes to planning and living your retirement and making the most of it. So today's show is this. What is winning in retirement? Yes, it's a radio show, but how is it a reality to you? What is winning in retirement to you? All right, so I wrote this. I got to start out with what I wrote just for me to get my feelings across.
Drum roll.
Yes. All right, so this might be emotional, but I'll try to bring it. How do you define winning in retirement? What is your timetable? Have you taken the time to think about it? If we do think about it, we will find out what it might be about our own future, what seems realistic, what might not even be realistic, unrealistic. What we must do in our financial life is set our goals. When we set our goals, we can come back and break them down into smaller parts to help make decisions, to help reach those goals. Imagine the opposite of setting goals. Just expecting it to all work out. That's all going to be there without doing anything about it. The current reality is this, that no one else is going to provide for your retirement unless you do something about it. The time of pensions is slowly going away. Social Security has a lot of insecurity in the long-term future of what it's going to provide for those that put so much tax money into it. Ultimately, winning in retirement is designing a stress-free retirement where your income is reliable and sustainable, and it must keep up with inflation over time. There must be an overall plan that brings it all together to make your money last a lifetime. There, I'm done my talk. I've done my prepared remarks. Winning in Retirement is the name of the show. It's not for those in retirement only. It's for those that want to get ready, those that have retirement as a goal. And we're going to talk about what is winning in retirement. What do you think, Alex?
I think you just answered the question.
Parts of it, but the idea is how do you make it a reality for each person where they are?
And retirement, it's a weird thing, right? It's this word, and we use it in so many different places, functions, etc. But there's different stages of retirement too. Like it's not just I'm going to be retired for this year. You want it to be the next part of your journey, right? So it could be 30, 40 years long.
I've had people when they retire, what they say is, I've been built for this. I can't wait for that day. And they time it out and they're ready to go. And they have the next 30 years planned. They're ready to go. Then there's the opposite. A lot of people that work really hard on things and work is their number one thing. They have a hard time giving that up. So retirement is going to be a combination answer. There isn't going to be one exact answer for this.
Right. And it's, I look at it as making sense of the money so that each client can figure out what they want to do. Because I don't have that answer.
Correct. So imagine there's two decisions. There's going to be the emotion, the choices you want to make each and every day, each and every year. Then the finances have to back you up and support you in those decisions so that you will have a guideline and something to work within as you build that financial plan and then act it into that retirement life.
Yeah, and so the big key there too, Brian, is being able to enjoy that time you're retired. You don't want to worry the whole time.
Exactly right.
That's horrible. Like if you turn on the news every day, if you're looking for bad news, it'll be there.
Exactly right. If you're looking for bad news, so you think about people who every day is worried because they need something to worry about possibly.
And they can find it.
And you can find it. And then the news is noise. I'm sorry, I want to say noise so bad. So the news is noise where they have a goal also for you to listen to the news. We want us to, how do you put it basically like this? Akers Financial Group, We built a company of financial advisors and a company to service our clients, to work with people on where they are and build it to what they want it to be. And nothing is going to be the same for each client that walks in the door. You have to build a retirement plan. You have to have a financial advisor, a coach, guide you based on what you want it to be and help you discover what you want it to actually be.
Right. And some of that, part of that process is, we uncover facts, we discover different things, and we start to build these goals that you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
And that's when we can really look across the table to someone and say, you're going to be fine.
Exactly right. So there are clients that say, all right, so I want Acres Financial Group to tell me I'm fine and then handle it. Give me my checks. And that's the as far as they want to learn. They don't want to understand
Vacation craft, something like that. But yeah, they're like, I did medicine my whole life, Alex. Or, Brian, I built bridges. Like, what do you want me to do?
All right. They want to enjoy the retirement years and not worry about their finances. And that's exactly the idea of what we call winning in retirement. This show is built on a conversation I had with a client. The client came in, saw our sign, Winning in Retirement, about the radio show. And they sat down and go, Brian, are we winning in retirement? And so I looked at him and I said, I really think you are. And then I started to describe their lifestyle on how there was this year when I first met him where it was right during the great financial crisis of 2008, and he lost his job a little earlier than we had wanted. And so he came in and he wanted to find out, well, what can we do? And so we worked our way through that. And we worked our way over the last 15 years to make that money last and build and do anything and everything they wanted to accomplish.
And it's a big deal, right? Retirement's huge, and it's scary for a lot of people because they've never done it. Typically, unless you're military or something like that, you don't retire multiple times.
No, the goal is retire once and stay retired. That is not a normal answer for most retirees. More than 50% of Marylanders are projected to not have enough money for their retirement lifetime.
Yeah.
And so when you look at stats out there and people's reality of what they're planning or what they're not planning, we want people to listen to the show, Winning in Retirement, and then realize, oh, I need to do something about it. If I want to win, I need to do something about it. It's like any sporting event. If you want to win a game, you better practice.
You must.
You got to get ready.
You can't just show up and expect it to be.
Right.
I mean, that's.
Decisions today will affect your tomorrow. So imagine, I like to say when we save money, we're throwing it to ourselves in the future. And hopefully have a completion, right?
How many people have you met and they just look across the table like second, third meeting and they're just like, we should have done this sooner?
Exactly right. And they say that usually because they come at a special birthday, 50, 55, 60, 65. And they come in, maybe they were referred in, maybe they heard the show a little bit and they want to get a second opinion about, am I okay? Those kind of things. And then they realize, oh, we really should have done this earlier. And then what we tell them back is, get your kids to start earlier. Get the grandkids. So whatever person we can start with, 18-year-old, 21, whenever they can start saving money and building, that's a perfect candidate to someone who wants to win in retirement.
Oh, yeah. And that's how it's easier. I mean, one step at a time, right? But you have to start. It takes some action. And it's really for your best interest. It really is about your retirement. That's what that's what it's all about.
Right. So some people get bogged down on the logistics. Okay, where's the money going to go? What are we going to buy? Where are we going to invest? Yes, we're going to talk about that and design a portfolio tied to reaching your goals. With the concept of actually having winning retirement with less stress, that would also mean you would take less risk in your portfolio design. Would that be correct?
Well, yeah. And the big thing that you don't want to worry about is big losses. And that's the main goal in retirement, right?
Yeah, big losses are hard to make up.
Yeah, so we want to prevent that. And we want to come up with a balanced approach so that we know we're good no matter what happens.
We want to try to prevent or reduce our amount of loss. And we also want to make sure we can keep up with inflation, the cost of living, the cost of retirement, so that we can stay retired and live the life we want.
Right. And you got to balance these new risks that you've never, really thought about. Like one of the weirdest ones to me, Brian, is living too long.
Yeah.
Like that is such a weird concept for me to say to people, but it's a legitimate risk.
Yeah. So longevity risk is where you think about your money and you sort of say, well, I got it to 82. Then I think it runs out then. And then we got to get money that'll last a lifetime. And yes, there are ways to do that. And that's what we work on in our design. So winning in retirement, it's not just being able to pay your bills month to month. Maybe occasionally go out once a month, or maybe go visit your grandkids once a year. It's about having a balance where you decide to do it and you say, oh, where's the money for that? Rather than, oh, there's not enough money to do it. Yeah. It's when money hindrance the goals is the tough part. And part of that reason normally is because there wasn't a disciplined approach to the finances early enough to make sure we have enough saved.
Yeah, and the later you start on those big mistakes, it can be difficult.
Correct. Now, I believe in balance. I believe in balance during your lifetime, balance in retirement years. I don't believe in saving only for retirement and just having that be your golden year. I believe have a golden life. What I mean by that is you have in your budget now the enjoyment of what you want to do and things you want to do and saving, but you need to know how much you need to save in that plan. You need to have it put together so it's projecting to exactly what you want your goals to be. You don't want to just survive retirement. You want to thrive in it. Thriving are the people that are doing the things that they want to do. Now, that could be sitting in some place quiet. It could be, I like staying home and looking at the birds in my backyard.
It could be working at Home Depot.
It could be working a little bit because it's fun to get out of the house. It could be a man garage and working on your car. It could be having a special room where you work on crafts and do things like that. It could be world travel. It could be golfing.
Anything.
Name a few other retirement things. People
biking, boating,
sailing. I have clients get in shape, go to gym 5 days a week in retirement.
I have so many 70-year-olds that could probably beat me in a race.
Absolutely. But when they come back from the Senior Olympics and tell us how they did, it's pretty impressive.
I'm like, well, you're impressive.
Yeah, well, what we're talking about today is this. What is winning in retirement? Acres Financial Group, we're local. We're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We have offices in Lutherville and Farmville and clients all around the country. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Just go ahead and give us a call and schedule your meeting with one of our team of advisors. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to acresfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. Winning in retirement begins with you setting your goals. We'll explain why this is so important when we come back after this very short break.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Alex Monk. We are certified financial planner practitioners from Acres Financial Group right here in Maryland, but we work with people all around the United States. And we welcome you to our second quarter of Winning in Retirement. Our topic this quarter is this question. All right, Alex, so let me tell it to you again. Winning in retirement begins with you setting your goals. We'll explain why this is so important. When we come back, guess what? We're back. Why is this so important when we talk to a client about them setting their goals?
So the goals really drive everything. I get caught on this so many times, Brian. It's like, how do I invest somebody's money if I don't know what I'm trying to achieve?
You have to know why.
Right. Like, I need to know why.
Purpose.
So if you have, a $50,000 a month pension, then, you may not need as much money in guaranteed income sources.
Exactly right.
So it's all about these different things where we start with the shortest term money, like filling up your emergency fund, making sure we have enough cash for whoops-a-daisies.
Correct.
And then making sure we have enough income for that year. Where are we getting it? And how are we laddering things out to hit our goals? Because there's different milestones along the way as you retire.
Absolutely. Your age matters when it comes to withdrawing money for retirement, what kind of assets you can use at different times. Imagine that you want to win in retirement. This show is called What is Winning in Retirement? And we believe there's certain things you have to do to make sure that you do win, where you achieve the goals that you've set. And it's as simple as this. You have to set the goals. How do you achieve something when you don't set the goal to achieve it?
Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, you can always go backwards, right? And be like, well,
what happens, it's almost like if you're in a sailboat and you don't know where you're going, you're going to follow the wind until the wind stops pushing you somewhere. Then you got to figure out where you are.
maybe that's your goal. I don't know.
Well, some people are like that. They love to just go with the flow.
Yeah.
But the idea is the flow that you really need is the cash flow that ties to it.
Really? Yeah. So that's what it's about, right? You walk into a meeting and a client says to you, Brian, I need $5,000 a month. I have no debt. Here's where it's all coming from. What do you usually say?
That's the first meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they an accountant? Would they have a little special spreadsheet coming out of their pocket?
They're an engineer with that same spreadsheet.
Okay. And so they know exactly their number. What happens to me is this. It goes down, well, that number is a gross or net. I mean, let's get into the weeds. Let's get into the detail of you want that $5,000 in that bank account to pay the bills. What does that really mean with your money? Now tell me about where your money is. So the money that we have saved over a lifetime, did we do Roth? Did we take advantage of tax-free investments? Was it all pre-tax? Is it all taxable on the way out? Will the money that's coming in have cost of living adjustments? You know, all the facts, we gather them so that we can then project where we are today and make that goal of $5,000 a month last a lifetime as things go up.
Right. And especially as like different ages, you said age is very important. Like, let's say you're 65, you know, certain things happen, right?
Medicare's, that's a big year for Medicare.
And then Social Security somewhere in your 60s.
Well, when people set goals to retire, they say 63. Then my question usually to them is, what are you going to do about your health care? It's very expensive until 65 when you start getting Medicare combined with supplement.
And it's still not cheap.
It's never cheap, but where are you going to get the money for that? What amount do you need? What kind of coverage do you need? Is there a way to have it provided? Yeah. There are people that have great health care for retirement and a pension, and that's great for them. The hardest part is younger clients that are building and trying to win in retirement in the future are realizing they're not getting that benefit even offered to them for their future. So what they got to do is save extra for the healthcare piece.
Right. And the unknown, right? I mean, to not have these things guaranteed the way it was back in the day, like you need to put the work in.
Absolutely. It's no longer, I don't believe it's ever been, it's where you just have a certain number and that number is $1 million, 1.2 million, things like that. And you say, oh, that's enough. I told someone who had $8 million they didn't have enough. And the reason I told them they didn't have enough was based on the lifestyle and the budget and expenses that they had currently. I didn't believe that there would be enough money to keep it going at the pace they wanted to go.
And a lot of times, like the biggest flaw I see when people come in is their tax planning.
You're talking about the retirement tax planning when they realize, oh, all that saving I deferred, now I got to pay tax now.
Right.
And so all of it's in one place, like in one bucket.
That big number you were talking about, when people realize how much is actually theirs and their eyes get big, it's always like what?
Yeah, I did. I was doing one the other day where the client needed $3,000 a month. We had to take out like almost 4,300 gross to get $3,000, and so the idea was, well, that ends up being a lot of money every year. Yeah, thankfully, they're over $1 million portfolio, so it provides a very good flow. But then we got to raise it every year or so. So we got to design where money comes from. But if someone saves all to an IRA, that's their only source for everything. Taxes are a constant conversation with someone like that.
And especially with rules changing. I mean, we've had some adjustments to required minimums coming in, all types of moving parts. So the game is changing, you know, just like baseball rules are changing. I mean, all these games are changing. So we got to stay up to date with it.
And what you need is a financial coach, financial advisors, or even a radio show that's going to provide the up-to-date information for you to apply to your planning. Trying to do it yourself, I think, is harder than ever when it comes to full wealth planning, to make sure you're getting everything right in your situation, to make sure you're going to be okay and that you're going to win in retirement.
And the main message here is the importance of making sure that you're doing the right thing. Have someone else check it. Get a second opinion. What's the harm in that?
Right. What happened, what you're trying to mention there, I think, is that Acres Financial Group, we're open to having you come in for a free consultation where we talk about where you are, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and we see if we're a good fit to answer that, or just give you an opinion of where you are to see if it's going to reach those goals. Are you going to really be thriving? Is that even a question the current advisor asks you about? About your retirement goals, about what makes your retirement dreams come true? What are those important things in life?
I've had some funny meetings where the client comes in and, well, this is my friend, and my advisor. And I'm like, okay, keep that account there. No big deal. And we keep meeting year after year, on our schedule and ask different questions. He's like, well, why isn't my other advisor asking me these questions? And I'm like, well, I have no idea why not.
I haven't met my other advisor in 6 years, so why do we need to meet every year? That one's a confusing piece.
Right, because life changes. I mean, your life can change.
We believe it constantly changes, and so annual reviews should be a part of any advisory relationship. The best interest for clients is for someone to care about what's going on in their life and apply finance to what's going on that moment. There are things to think about that affect your budget. We need to know how much we're paying in tax, how much Medicare premiums we're paying. Are we getting punished by making too much one year and we're hitting this IRMA limit? All these things that hit us and we might not have planned far enough ahead to understand it.
Right, and you want to know what you don't know so you're not caught with these big surprises. You can make some big mistakes early on in retirement. The biggest one I see is someone trying to retire early and take out too much money early on.
Right. I would say that in your 60s, you want to live off what the portfolio gives you. You don't want to eat the principal. A lot of times I'll talk about a cow. Imagine your savings are cows. You can have hamburger. There won't be a cow anymore. Or you can milk the cow. That's, in my opinion, interest and dividends. When you think about it as simple as that, if during our 60s we can live off interest, dividends, and other income source that's coming from the investments, the idea is that will then preserve the wealth that you've had built up. And then it will be there when we need to use more later. You
could also use an almond, but I'm not sure how they milk those yet.
Almond milk you're talking about? I really don't understand any of the concept of almond milk. That'll have to be a separate show.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
All right, so winning in retirement is about a stress-free life. It's something where you know the finances and things are coming in so that you don't have to have your time worrying about that. You can really think about what's going on in your life and make the plans that you want to do and take care of the things and people that you want to take care of.
Yeah, and a lot of this, we're hitting on is knowing your numbers, know your risk. Where are you taking risk? A lot of people come in and they don't have any clue how much risk they're taking. That's another big one I see.
Yeah, like some come in 100% in one stock. Everything they've ever saved in their lives in their company stock. That's usually not as prevalent as it used to be, but still happened a couple weeks ago. Also, people that are given a package, they have to retire tomorrow. There's clients that come in that are young, and they're like, well, I don't know what my retirement goal is. And my thing is, well, how much can you save? We got to save and start building so that we can then have money set aside for that retirement goal.
Right, and then it's like, the time. Well, is now the time? Well, yeah, now is the time to start finding out where you should save, how you should save, all these different things that fit your piece.
Absolutely. So what is winning in retirement? Well, it's really all about designing your financial plan, your investments, insurance, everything, making it all work together to provide what you want it to provide. And that's where you need to set up a financial plan. The first part of the plan is setting these goals we're talking about. So, Alex, someone's in their 30s, early 40s, and they're talking about setting goals. What are some examples of goals of someone in their mid-30s to 40s?
So it's usually maybe saving for college for their kids.
Right. So they got a lot of the today expenses, right?
Current stuff, that has a time frame of, usually within 18 years or less.
Right.
And then some of those people still have student debt of their own.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a sandwich deal.
Yes.
But then it's you have to pair that with having an emergency fund to take care of, life stuff, your house, et cetera, but also saving for the future.
Absolutely. Setting goals is the key ingredient to helping you achieve the goal of winning in retirement. We want you to be able to win in retirement. At Acres Financial Group, everything we do is going to be about you. Your retirement is as unique as your fingerprint. When you sit down with us, we start by taking a look at your financial fingerprint. Where is your money? How much do you have? How much are you earning? Then we talk about what you want to when you want to retire, what it'll look like, what it'll feel like, and we set those goals. That's your retirement fingerprint, is understanding where you are now. Perhaps you've been sold something in the past, regardless of whether you need it or not. Not at Acres Financial Group. With us, your retirement money follows your financial fingerprint. It's a retirement plan based on your unique fingerprint, and that determines where your money goes. It's not about us, it's about you. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE and schedule an in-person or a Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE, 833-946-7384, or go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and schedule your meeting there. Mistakes that we have seen when people plan for their retirement. Alex, we've seen our share of them?
A couple.
We'll talk about this when we return with more of Winning in Retirement.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Alex Monk. We're certified financial planners. I'm from Akers Financial Group. What that means is we're financial advisors. Well, I'm here to advise. I'm on the radio. We actually advise that you to go see a financial advisor so they can actually do your personal financial planning. So as we talk about financial planning, be sure to listen and understand what's going on, but also get the main idea, and that is having good financial planning really helps you set your goals and reach whatever that goal may be.
Yeah, I like that. You said financial advisor. That's a cool term.
Yeah, well, advisor, a coaching, or someone's actually guiding you to where you need to be. Now, it's not a whatever they want you to do. It's more about what you want and then how they can come alongside and get you going in the right direction. It's all extremely important to bring that all together. All right, here we're in the second half of the show. Alex is taking a halftime rest, and he's good now, stretched out.
The second half is definitely my time.
It is your time?
Yeah.
All right, so now you just, defense is there, offense is there, you're ready to go.
Yeah, warmed up, All
right, so I got to start with a tough topic, and that is mistakes that we've seen when people plan their own retirement. And then they come in to see us, and then we are there, and then we're trying to begin with that, and we're reading through the things, and we go, aha, that kind of stuff.
I mean, it happens all the time. So you're looking through some things, and it's like, what happened here?
Oh, you actually say that?
Yeah.
And you're looking at a statement, or what are you looking at?
So just last week, I saw a guy, and the information that he brought at the first meeting was different from the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what happened with this account here? He's like, well, the guy wanted me to move it to this new thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? He's like, I have no clue.
He just went ahead with it.
He just went ahead with it, and it would almost lock the money up for another 10 years.
Wow.
And I was like, you didn't ask these questions? But, that's just the most recent one that comes to topic, but I see it all the time.
My favorite thing is the client will bring something in, and I'll say, well, what is this? And then try to get them to explain to me what they think it is so that I could know where to start to explain it back to them. Because I always love to do it that way, just to hear their understanding.
Right, because a lot of times it's, well, I thought this was blank.
Right.
Because they got, advice from whomever.
Right.
The Googler, the guy at the office, whatever it may be.
I mean, there's a lot of sales techniques out there, and they might say such things as, guarantees and money grows at a certain rate, which is always higher than you would ever expect. And you understand the reality that no one gets that rate, but it's sort of a partial truth. And you have to explain that to them.
That's a very difficult one, and that's usually associated with an annuity of some sort.
Yeah, an annuity where they might have promised a certain income value increase, and then it's different than your actual value increase, and people need to understand that. That's a whole radio show by itself. Now, some mistakes in retirement planning. One of the first things I see is that people put all their money in one place. They might have all their money in their retirement plan at work, all pre-taxed, and they really have no savings at home in their regular bank and no emergency fund at all.
Yeah, it's wild for me to see someone that has like $2 million saved in their retirement accounts, but lives paycheck to paycheck and has maybe some credit card debt.
Well, that's a standard American. If we don't save first and put it in a retirement plan and hide it from ourselves, we'll always spend the rest. That's normal America. And so I would say what you're describing is pretty normal for someone the first time we see them is, well, we got to build this up. I've had people, as they get close to retirement, we stop doing the 401k above the match so that we can build cash and have some cash into the retirement years so that we don't have to take massive withdrawals to meet all the other goals they have.
Yeah, that's the biggest one is the planning for cash. Like, how do we generate retirement's biggest game is cash flow.
Right, you have to turn it on. If it's a tax-free account, you take out $100, you get to keep $100. If you are not, let's say you're at a 32% tax rate and you got a little bit of state tax on top, you're at 40% tax rate, you want $100, you don't get your $100, you get 60.
Right.
You got to take out more.
And same thing with your tax brackets. If you're not watching where your income's falling, you could jump from 12 to 22.
And 22 to 24, 24 to 32, and keep on rolling.
Right, but 10% more is a big number if you're not expecting it.
What happens also is the investments where they invest, but they don't really think about the taxes. And they get caught by surprise at tax time when the accountant does the tax return and says, here's what you owe. And they're like, oh my, okay, how do I stop that to the future?
I've also seen some... the clients are like, well, I want to get a trading account. And then they'll go out and they'll buy something that has like a K1 associated to it.
Yeah.
And their tax return just becomes a giant disaster.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those are some mistakes. Now, some mistakes I've had is people come in and they want to talk about retirement and they start the conversation by saying, oh, I just retired. And then now they want our opinion of could they retire? And I'm a little handcuffed on that one, right?
That's a tough one.
Am I supposed to say no?
Is this a permanent decision? Those are tough ones.
One time I joked and said, can you get your job back? That was before I looked at the paper and just trying to be funny. And they worked out okay over time that they got the joke. But generally, the thought of retiring and then getting a financial advisor after it sort of scares financial advisors because we don't want people to retire until you figure out, is it okay? Are the numbers good? Does it really fit what you want to do? Or you just have a hidden number or your friend's retiring, so you might as well. Or
did you get a buyout, like a package? Or
like a buyout package. You're allowed to turn some of them down. And that doesn't mean you'll keep your job after it, but it does mean that you could turn it down. Buyout packages, when you're prepared financially, could be the perfect thing to retire on because it's the final piece. Right. Or it's the opposite when, that's caught me by surprise. I wasn't really ready to retire, but here it is. Can I go? And then that's a brand new client comes in with that. They have the package. We talk about it. Then I say, well, what is your budget? What is your need? What are you going to do?
And it just depends because every scenario is different. Sometimes we need to have certain things elected at our old employer, insurance-wise, that may carry through to retirement, all types of different things that could.
Oh, yeah. Or like if you have healthcare retirement for you and your spouse, but your spouse isn't under your plan, they might need to be under that plan for 1 year prior to retirement to meet the goal, the cover for a retirement year. There's all kinds of logistics when it comes to really retiring that you got to work through. And that's what planning is all about. So what is winning in retirement? It's really getting ready so that you can retire and stay retired, where the stress is a lot lower, where you feel like every day is like a Saturday. You're not fretting over where's next month's check coming from.
I mean, I know some people, have really stressful jobs, but I would be more stressed waking up not knowing where the money was coming from if I quit my job.
Well, some people that have worked, the reason I say the word hard, I mean, they've worked a lot. I mean, like the work is their number one thing. And then they retire, and now the money is going to be provided by the investments, and they're looking at it going, all right, what can I do to get more money? Like, do you need more money? No, but they have this feeling that they need to work. They need to go get another job, need to go do something to make it flow. And I try to explain that it takes a couple years in retirement to be assured that what you've set up and that the plan is working for you. It's normal to retire and not be jumping up and down with pom-poms saying, oh, I'm winning. But the reality is, oh, it feels like I'm winning. And then 2 years later, it's like, yeah, I'm winning.
The funniest one for me is when someone retires and you meet like 18 months, 6 months, somewhere, relatively recently after they retired, and they're like, yeah, so I'm still saving $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second.
Well, I've had people like in their mid 70s say, Brian, I can't save as much as I used to. I said, well, you need to spend it. We have enough saved.
Like, we're sending you money
you need to spend it. Go enjoy it. And the reality at 73, 75 with required minimum distributions, there's money that has to come out. And you can give it away or you can use it, but have a plan for it. Imagine that retirement planning is designing for you. What is winning in retirement is truly putting this all together. In this quarter, we're talking about mistakes we've seen that when people come in with just certain thoughts. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen is where people have not taken advantage of the Roth options during their lifetime. Roth option is what, Alex?
So that would be where you put in taxed money.
Okay, you pay tax now.
Yeah, pay tax now, never again.
And what makes the nice thing about that is really when you retire, it's a tax-free withdrawal. If you just need a little bit more money, you can take some out of there. If you don't need it, you can give it to your family as a legacy, income tax-free.
Tax-free. And that, what you said there, if you need some money.
Sure.
Because you got to have different buckets to pull from. Because if you don't, there's only so many ways to get money out if you have one account.
Yeah.
And that's where things are really difficult. And the other thing that we see a lot, or at least me, is people not having enough cash for their income needs set aside.
Yeah, no emergency fund.
Yeah, so that means they're either taking risk in the market or they're taking on debt to cover these things.
Or they're doing their retirement planning. Oh, I can pay my debt. I'm going to keep doing that. And like the problem is now we got to squeeze the investment to get the money to pay the debt that they have. And it's sort of a vicious cycle of taxation on the investment that comes in to pay a debt, where if we could pay off the debt, wipe that out for the future, then their cash flow works perfect. So we try to find a way to make cash flow work perfect. And what I mean by that is truly understanding all sources of your savings, where you put the money, and how each one is treated on the way out, and building a plan on when to touch each investment and when to turn it on to provide the money you need.
Yeah, and also having different strategies to earn this money. Don't take risk on everything.
That's one of the key ingredients to keeping the stress down is the market's crazy and gone down. The reality that not all your money's in the market is a very secure place to be. Now, many times we're all told that bonds are that safe piece. If you look in history, every time there's a major problem in financial markets, bonds get hit. It's a very tough place to be.
It is not a safe haven, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's just a whole nother radio show. I'll talk about that. All right, so let me try to explain this. The best part of retirement is truly getting your time back. You decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away. Your time is now consumed by things you want to do. You have that balance. You have that winning in retirement. And it is easy to begin winning in retirement. You go to our website at AkersFinancialGroup.com, scroll to the schedule a meeting section, and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation with one of our team of advisors. That's AkersFinancialGroup.com. Or you can give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE, 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. A lot of people think financial independence is this, when it's actually that. We'll explain as we conclude this week's show.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and here with me today is Alex Monk. Alex Monk is a certified financial planner. He had a degree in accounting. He's an all-around good guy, but an excellent financial advisor, especially helping people get ready and stay retired. Our show today that we put together is called What is Winning in Retirement? What does it feel like? How do you get there? And we've covered many topics. Last quarter, we covered the mistakes people make and when they do their own planning. We talked about setting goals. We also talked about the concept of winning in retirement is truly knowing you're reaching your goals and having the reduced stress because you've done the work it takes. Here in the fourth quarter, we're going to talk about this or that. A lot of people think financial independence is this, but in reality, it's that. All right, so what is financial independence, Alex?
Well, let me just give you $1 million.
$1 million. Okay, as soon as you hit $1 million, you're financially independent.
And as long as it's orange.
But is it that?
I don't think so.
I don't believe it is a number running around on top of your head as you're doing your commercial. I believe it's more about the cash flow and writing down what you want to do. Dream, whatever that dream might be. Now, many times financial planning, I try to set up things like foundational financial finance, and that's where we pay off personal debt, build an emergency fund, have the right insurance. Then I talk about the future, and we save for paying off a mortgage, college, and retirement. And then the seventh thing that I talk about with everyone is dreams. What are the dreams for your money? What do you want that money to do for you? And that's exactly what retirement is. It's not just a dream. It's something that becomes a reality someday for each and every one of us.
Well, you want it to be a reality.
Right. So, but retirement versus financial independence, what is the difference, Alex?
Yeah, so financial independence is when you know your numbers, right? You know that when you wake up that morning, you still may be at your last job, that's fine. But you know that if you don't want to go into work that day, you don't have to.
Correct, because you know financially you're all right, but emotionally and based on life, you enjoy your job and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you have no motivation to retire. You still enjoy your work or yada, 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 whatever it is.
Right.
But you know that you've done the work, right? You put in the time to save. You've been responsible with your money. You paid off your debt or, whatever your scenario is. But you know your goals. You know your plan. You know it's going to work.
Right. There are a couple ways I think about that. One is this. Some people like to risk their money in high-risk investments. And my answer is, well, are you financially independent? Can you afford to risk that money? Have you set aside the money you need that's going to be your financial independence? And is that in a well-balanced, medium to low-risk portfolio design so that money will last a lifetime? Then you can take a risk with the extra.
Well, I haven't saved enough, Brian, so I need to take more risk.
We hear that, especially younger. Will think, I need to catch up. I'm 40 years old and I need to start today, so I'm going to go all in on the highest risk thing out there.
And
it's not really the answer. The answer is this. Imagine that if you're in equities over the last 100 years, you have a real rate of return of about 6.7% above inflation after tax. That's an incredible rate of return. The key thing with age is allowing your money to grow over time. It's not timing the market. It's your time in the market. How do you become financially independent? Let your money work for you. Have a portfolio that's designed to provide you to be independent. And if you want to take risk or give money away, you know that it's extra and that the whole plan is working together. That's a total wealth plan. That's understanding what you want to do now and later, legacy and income. All of these are great topics that you can bring to the table.
That's a lot.
I know.
Where do we start?
I almost had to take a breath first. What we do to start is this. We have to have that free meeting with you. Talk about where you are now. And then gather information. Sometimes we need to gather for a while to find out what you've saved, where you saved it, especially those operating at a high speed level during their careers. Ones that might be C-suite or running their own companies. They save money, put money into things, and it's a little bit everywhere.
I've found just over the years meeting with people and they'll show up, 2-3 years into knowing them. Oh, I found this.
Yeah.
$100,000, whatever it is. It's like, oh, I forgot I had this going on.
I have this one guy that's very well with this company, and his wife says, we need to get our finances organized. And then she goes, he doesn't have time to do this. I said, well, let's get it organized. Then we'll have a meeting. And then we'll talk about all what's going on. And we did that meeting. And then as soon as we had the meeting, we gave him 10 things to think about doing. He did them all within a week after we got down to the nitty gritty. It was amazing how There are just certain people out there when they are known with their focus and what they need to do. And after you've done the research of what the family needs to do and you come back and say, here are the top 10 things, they go to work, get it done very quickly. And then they're like, what's next?
Yeah, it's great to see it. And I love helping people that want it.
That want to help, that want the advice, so they want the coaching.
Right.
It's like any professional athlete. If they want coaching, they're going to get better if they have the right coach. They're also going to get better if that coach is looking out for them.
And so it's funny, like I have clients call me all the time and they have a question. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I think they expect me to give them, this is what you should do.
Oh, you don't do that?
I don't.
What do you do?
So I say, okay, so here's your scenario and here's both sides of it.
Right.
Here's my opinion, but I want you to know how it works one way or another.
Right. You need to know your choices are out there, the effects of the decision, such as someone goes, oh, I'm 40 years old and I just left my job. I'm just going to cash out my 401k. I can pay off my credit card. You know, those kind of thoughts.
Well, and sometimes it's like, where should I go on vacation? And I'm like, what?
Oh, well, that's a good talk to have.
Sometimes they're fun, but sometimes it's like, okay, here's your options. If you leave work early, this is the gap in your cash flow. Yeah. You can retire if you want.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you if that's going to be enough.
All right. So what is winning in retirement? Well, I believe it's time to enjoy the things you love. It's the fun, it's the play, it's the family, it's the service, the volunteering, the things that are very important to you, making them very important and making them a priority in your life so that you can make sure things are going to be there for you to provide you the money to keep you going in those things. Now, one of the hardest parts about retirement is we don't know how long we'll have our health. And so health and worst case scenarios also have to be a big part of the plan so that we know that we're going to be well taken care of if things don't go well. If we get sick, if something happens, one passes away, that both everybody involved is going to be taken care of by the plan.
And I get a lot of people that the reason they come in is they just went through some type of long-term care event with mom or dad or
someone else, and they go, oh, I don't want that to happen to me, and I know we haven't addressed it, and so we have to figure that out.
I don't want to be a burden, Brian.
But it doesn't sound like winning when we're talking about worst-case scenarios, but in reality, it's a big win when something happens. One of the scenarios I talk about is I had a client who had a heart issue and was in the hospital, and he wasn't going to make it. And then the family called me immediately, and we guided them through everything we had set up. And we even have a personal website for our clients so that the family could see that the mom was going to be okay. And then that took one part of the stress away, let alone with them passing away. But it just added to lowering the stress some at that time. But also understanding that money is okay is very important.
And there's so many scenarios where you're meeting with a husband and wife, and they just want to know that the other person's going to be okay.
Yes. They want to make sure that if something did happen to the main one that brings the money in, that the other one's going to have enough money to live the same lifestyle.
And that's an important thing. You worked hard. You want to make sure that it's protected. You don't want to make one mistake and not protect for the spouse's life or, vice versa.
So when you think about the show today, the show is called What is Winning in Retirement? What is the answer for you? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about what it's going to look like? When you start thinking about winning in retirement, you might want to write down what it would look like so that you know the destination of your financial future. You then got to start with where you are, and we call that financial fingerprint. And that begins with that financial talk where we sit down with one of our team of advisors and really think about your situation and what to do right now.
Yeah, and personalized advice is really a huge deal when it comes to finances. Because there's no two people that are exactly alike.
And not jobs, not options, not cash flow, not family, not where you live. Is your house going to cost extra this year because something's failing? There's always something going on in life.
And you got to know what's right for you and set those goals. And it's not something that's daunting. I mean, we do this every day. I absolutely love it. No need to be scared of it.
Well, we got to expect the unexpected. Like tax laws are going to change. And when they change, we got to react to them. And sometimes we can take advantage of the tax law change for the good for our clients.
Yeah, and just knowing the rules. We want to operate within the rules and know them so that we can make the right decisions.
Yeah, it's sort of like there's tools in the pocket and the client brings up their situation. We say, oh, these are some options for you and this is how it would work. And then we get it organized, set up, and flowing. That's really the key. Then we track it, make sure it is working.
It's always fun just to see. It's two of my favorite things, like helping people figure out money, because money just fascinates me, but also helping them figure out what they want to do with their time.
Yeah, you've done a number of different scenarios. We don't have time to cover many of them, but some of them are people who had a whole career in real estate and wanted to start unraveling. So you had ways of working through that with clients with really great ideas. There's just many things that you've done with clients that we've all done together where we really try to meet clients where they are and then really build a plan from there.
Yeah, and I think it's so much fun.
Well, the fun part is really when they come in and they tell you about what winning in retirement is, what they're doing. Yeah. And that takes most of the meeting once they've been a client for a few years.
Yeah, or the random pictures from the vacations and all the special family events. It's just great to see.
Yeah, or they bring a little postcard from it. It's fun. Or the photos are unusual. They're good.
Definitely.
Well, thank you very much for a good show today, Alex. Our show has been What is Winning in Retirement? We thank you for listening today. We want you to win in your retirement years. So take advantage of the opportunity to begin planning with us at Acres Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors, go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. Scroll to the Schedule a Meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free meeting. That's acresfinancialgroup.com. Or you can give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. And we'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go to acresfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and/or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.